321 Media and the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce is back with another edition of Community Conversations. I'm at TVCCA with Josh Kelly. Hi, Josh.
Hi, thank you so much for chatting with me and having already taken a little bit of a walk through a childcare center that TVCCA administers here. It's great to have you.
It's amazing, again, having never been here. And from the front, we were saying it looks, it's so deceiving because it goes back so far, but the number of people you're supporting here is tremendous.
Absolutely. 10 classrooms just at this childcare center. And Megan and I were talking a little bit earlier. We have 3 different childcare centers that we own and operate ourselves, and numerous other partnerships in the community to have individual classrooms offered in Montville Public Schools, New London Public Schools, even up in Griswold and the like.
Yeah, so it's a lot. So it's,
it is.
So let's start at the beginning. TVCCA stands for?
TVCCA, the Thames Valley Council for Community Action. We were founded in 1965 as part of the Economic Opportunity Act, which was signed into law by Lyndon Johnson back in '64. And the Economic Opportunity Act had a lot of provisions in it, and one of them was to establish a community action agency, federally designated, that would operate basically as an anti-poverty agency. So there's one of these for every town in Connecticut. There are 9 different agencies in Connecticut, and there's one of these for every county across the United States. So there are over 1,000 community action agencies. We're part of that network, and we administer not just take and manage the money for these programs, but implement them on the ground and make sure that services, human and social services, are meeting the people of our community here in Eastern Connecticut where they need it most.
So we've seen the children here in the classroom style and what you guys do here, but talk about all the different silos or buckets that you guys touch or that you're a part of.
There are so many. Even within childcare, we not only have a lot of the children that we had the chance to go and see today are part of our Little Learners program, largely state funded, but also we administer federal Head Start programming. Outside of childcare, we administer Meals on Wheels and congregate meals throughout Eastern Connecticut. Down here in Southeastern Connecticut, we really focus on offering widespread community services through the Community Service Block Grant. That's one of the things that makes us uniquely a community action agency. We administer housing programs, a new program called Family Bridge, which is an opportunity, and we have multiple programs that all focus on home visiting and helping to support new and young families as they transition into parenthood, as they transition into child nutrition and things of that nature. So we have our WIC program as well, which supports families who have newborns or young children, even in the kind of prenatal period, supporting mothers, and beyond that, we are also offering our energy assistance program. That's federal LIHEAP. That's our largest by dollar figure service that we provide. Several thousand individuals, I think 10,000 last year, were supported to some extent by whether it's oil that they're receiving or their house is heated by electricity, making sure that their heat is on through the winter. Really important program.
It's incredible stuff. I think can you talk a little bit about the other community organizations that you work with around Southeastern Connecticut?
Absolutely. So here in Southeastern Connecticut, we work very closely with a network of different housing organizations in particular. So we recently started a Norwich warming shelter. That's something we manage and operate, but down here in New London, we are working very closely with the New London Homeless Hospitality Center to make sure if there are individuals who are currently living in this neck of the woods that need a place to stay, especially when the weather's this cold, they know where to go. They have a place to go. But there are a variety of other Project Hope and other organizations down here that we partner with to make sure that housing opportunities are well known and that we're able to navigate within ourselves our clients into those services. But we also work alongside Catholic Charities. We're also working alongside, of course, one of our closest partners, being the Community Foundation here in Southeastern Connecticut. Meetings held there often, and a lot of financial support, and then also I could just go on.
So I know that there's so many people that you do touch in the community, and there's so many people who are serviced by you. Does any kind of success story come to mind, or something that you guys have touched and you can point to that and say, oh, that was, this is what came out of it?
Absolutely. Some of our big success stories recently, I mentioned up in Norwich, and this is a little bit further from the coast, but up in Norwich, we did, over these last 2 winters, have a warming shelter that was able to start up and help dozens of people stay out. And we know for a fact, especially this winter, there have been multiple fatalities when individuals haven't been able to get into sheltering with the extreme cold. So that's really important. Right now, down here in southeastern Connecticut, we're working very closely with the state to try and expand and get money to launch the Family Bridge program out of L&M Hospital, so that individuals who are coming home with a new child, whether it's their first child or their 10th child, will be able to have, and this is universal across, and it's not just individuals living in poverty, universal for all families, 3 free nurse home visits, so that you can avoid those costs, avoid waiting in lines at the emergency room because something might be wrong, bringing those costs down for families and making sure that you have a clear point of contact when you have questions about your child's health. So these are wonderful successes that we continue to build on. And right now we're seeing some growth right now too in our housing programs. So we're very fortunate that we have some wonderful legislators, in particular Kathy Austin in the 19th Senate District, who's really been working with us to make sure that monies are available to expand our housing footprint, and we're trying to get creative. So I don't have a lot of news right now, but we're in the process of acquiring buildings that will be able to be built out for housing program purposes, and hopefully expand truly the housing stock in southeastern Connecticut, so that we're bringing costs down across the board, but also providing specific opportunities for families and individuals who are living
That's
here.
amazing.
Yes.
And looking at just if people who are watching this may not know about you but want to get involved, are there ways that people can help?
Yes, we are always looking, especially for our Meals on Wheels program. We rely on volunteers. There are volunteer drivers. There are individuals who help serve at our congregate meal settings who are volunteers. We're looking for people who are willing to jump in and kind of get their hands dirty, proverbially. But we're also, I mean, money is really what counts right now. In a time where, unfortunately, we've already lost the program. Towards the beginning of 2025, we were notified that federal funding was being pulled from AmeriCorps. We had an AmeriCorps seniors and veterans program that focused entirely on volunteerism and trying to get back out in the community and help our seniors and veterans in need. That went away. And as a result, we have some pretty big holes, not just in that sphere, but that we're starting to feel in other buckets, as you put it, other umbrella areas of our agency. If you are somebody who has the means to donate, people have never been closer to falling into poverty. A lot of families, especially who might be working full-time jobs but are working minimum wage, and the individuals who are in poverty are finding a hard time finding jobs, being able to pull themselves out without these levels of support. So contributing as much as you can, it goes a long way.
And can you, just for a final, can you talk a little bit for people who you're talking about, people who need help, who might be in poverty? These are people who are not, for lack of a better word, they're not living on the dole. They're trying to get out. They may be working a job, but they're not earning enough money to be able to get themselves over that line. Is that right?
Absolutely. And let me put it in from this perspective. We talk a lot about ALICE households. Those are asset limited, income restricted, or income constrained but employed individuals. So these are people who, even though they're employed, they are still they are on the precipice of living in poverty, and that federal poverty line hasn't moved in a long time. So you can't necessarily rely on that. My sister works in the New London public school system, so I know from firsthand experience that somebody who is starting as a brand new teacher in New London public schools falls squarely into that ALICE income, asset limited, income constricted, but fully employed. These are individuals who are contributing to our communities, who are active members of those communities, who are paying taxes, who are doing everything right by the system, who can't afford apartments in New London. Never mind in some of the more what some people would consider to be affluent suburbs, and they can't necessarily make ends meet without having 2, 3, 4, 5 roommates, and it's not reasonable, and it's not the kind of sustainable growth that we need in our community to be to really see people be able to pull their way out of poverty,
Yeah.
And out of these predicaments. So these are your teachers, these are your neighbors, these are your postal workers, these are individuals who are bagging and helping you at the grocery store, at Lowe's, at Home Depot, whatever the case might be. These are people that you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are seniors who are retired, who even their pensions aren't keeping up with what we were hoping to see. We served 25,000 people last year across all of our programs, with the help of about $40,000. This year, our budget is constrained to about $37 million, but we're looking to help the same, maybe more people. So the amount of money that we have to go around has been limited, but the need, every time you go to the store and you see those prices increase, every time you take a look at the housing market and see that your home price has increased, that's a little bit further out of somebody's range for somebody to be able to buy that home. That's a little bit more that's coming out of somebody's pocket at Stop and Shop that's not able to, stay in their bank account to save up for a down payment. We're doing our best to try and realign our programs and take a look at how do we move people forward and not just keep putting a Band-Aid on a broken problem. But it's a really difficult line of work to be in, especially right now. And I can't tell you how much it means to me that between the Chamber of Commerce and a lot of the members of the community that are part of the Chamber, we have continued to find partnerships that allow us to grow, that allow us to bring in more funds to do more. And we even have some new program ideas that we've been discussing with different partners that are part of the Chamber, which is pretty cool. And it's these types of community partnerships that really can make a difference and can help us move that 10% poverty line in the state down to 0.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think that's a great note to end on, that's some reality check.
Yes.
And let people know that there are people working hard at TVCCA to make it to help people, but also make it a better community and one that's sustainable.
Very much
so. I'm Bruce Flax, president of the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. I'm with Josh Kelly, who's the executive director.
Yes.
Of the TVCCA. And I want to thank 321 Media and the Mystic Chamber of Commerce for today's community conversations.